Hi, and welcome to the Stop Chasing Skinny podcast, where every single Tuesday we interview a new guest to talk about topics to help you craft your own fit life. The title Stop Chasing Skinny comes from my own personal tagline of life begins when you stop chasing skinny. You see, I spent many years running many miles, taking many classes, and trying many diets, but none of those worked. So finally, I got down to the business of understanding what really matters. And it's not just about how much exercise you can do or how little you can eat. It's everything else that goes into it. So I created this podcast to help you so you can craft your own fit life. Every single Tuesday, you can listen to an interview with a guest, and now every Friday, you can listen to me a second time, where I take questions you have sent to me, and I spend about 15 minutes answering them. You can even feed your brain this nourishing brain food by listening while you're cooking, commuting, cleaning, walking the dog, or just about anything else, because that is how we craft a fit life. So let's get on with the show. Today's guest is Joanne Strasser. Joanne and I have known each other for, a few years now. We met through a mutual friend in Columbus, Ohio. And Joanne she came to me as a client, but she just has such a cool background. She has such a cool story. And I just had to bring her on here. So Joanne is, she speaks German, she speaks Russian, she's an author, all of these really awesome things, not to mention she is a mom she just is getting all of her fitness back and in quick time. So she has a great message that is really just, you got to get your ass moving. So I loved that. I think there are all these people who are looking for shortcuts, and Joanne knows that there aren't shortcuts. So welcome, Joanne.
Thanks, Stephanie.
So this is just such a pleasure. I love talking to you so much, and I think the listeners are going to absolutely love listening to you. So can you tell us more about your background? I mean, I don't think I did it justice by just saying a few things. You have a really unique and interesting background.
I grew up in Columbus, Ohio. I was a competitive figure skater, so fitness has always been a really crucial part of my life. But, as most young competitive athletes, I kind of grew up with the all or nothing mentality. And, when I quit competitive skating, I didn't really know how to incorporate fitness and health and wellness into normal life. So I kind of just, over the years put on the pounds, and at around age, I think 32, my weight had just absolutely skyrocketed. And I was really unhappy with the way I looked. I had sort of come to accept the fact, okay, maybe I'm just always going to be fat. And then one day I just decided I needed to make a change. I decided that it was going to take me, it took me a long time to put the weight on, and it was going to take me an equally long time or longer to get it off. So that's what I did. I don't know if that was the question, though.
Oh, yeah. That's totally the question. Totally.
Just trying to bring it back.
Bringing it back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So let's give the listeners just a little more idea of what your daily life looks like. Because I think a lot of times when somebody sees a transformation, they envision somebody who has plenty of time to work out. That's what our brains like to do, right? So what do you do now for work? What does your schedule look like? All of that stuff.
So I don't have plenty of time in my schedule. I just had a baby. My son, Elliot, was born at the end of July. So I have an 8-month-old, and I'm a first-time mom. So that in and of itself is very, very overwhelming. I'm lucky that I have a really supportive partner. So that's made that all the more easier. But it's still hard because I do work full-time. I'm a creative services manager at Nationwide Financial, and I manage a team of writers and designers. So my day is pretty jam-packed with meetings and conversations and brainstorms, and then I pick my son up at around 4:30 or 5 o'clock, so it doesn't leave a lot of time for working out. So I know, though, from experience that if you want to do something, you will make time. So I had to kind of take a hard look at my schedule and realize, okay, you're going to have to stop going out for lunch. Because it's fun. I loved it, but I love my health more. So I decided I was going to use my lunch hour as my workout time. And that's what I did. I now have lunch at my desk, and I know, That's not the best thing to do, but it's what I need to do right now to get the job done.
Yeah, I totally did that. I think it's a great strategy because it's not like the person who's having lunch at their desk because they're not going to move. You're having lunch at your desk because you're going to go and work out. So I used to do the same thing, but I napped.
Exactly. Well, I'll be honest with you, that has often been a temptation.
Yes. Yes.
Nap or workout. Oh, no.
Yes, that's what I was doing. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about I just got to do it. I loved that you said, I just had to get up and do it. You actually created, and I'm going to put this whole video in the show notes. You created this really cool video that is this time-lapse video of you getting yourself fit. And it's you interviewing yourself at New Year's saying, I'm not going to do this anymore. And you check out your weight at different points in this whole process. Your figure skating coach gives you feedback. It's quite hilarious because you're a funny person. But I just think it's great because it's a time lapse of what really happens in a transformation. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, first of all, I have to preface this by saying I know the video was completely ridiculous and narcissistic, but I was so desperate to get the results that I knew that the only thing I could do was to hold myself 110% accountable. And for me, it made it into a project. So I like projects. I'm a creative person. So I thought, okay, how can I turn this, fitness workout thing into something that is maybe 2% enjoyable and 98% misery. And I thought, okay, I'm going to make a video, and this is going to be really cool to look back on. And I'm actually shocked at how helpful it has been because, in those moments where you really don't want to go to the gym, I'll just kind of like click on the video.
Yeah.
And it reminds myself, oh my goodness, look how far you came. So that was sort of the thought process behind that. And also I had a lot of doubters, especially the people who I'm closest to, who, they were so used to me being overweight, to my not being able to control, my food urges. And there was a part of me that really wanted to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
And so I did it, and I've got the video to show for, and, the healthy appearance. And it was just fun because my skating coach in the video, she's been coaching me, I think, since I was 12 years old. So we go way back. I'm 37 now. So it is, part of, humor is really important to me, and I wanted to make it real. I wanted to make it funny, and I wanted to show people, these things are not going to happen overnight. They're not going to happen when you're sitting on the couch watching TV and looking at some sort of like shake weight, that thing that you hold and it shakes. You're going to actually have to move. And, everybody asked me, how did you do it? How did you do it? And I said, the way nobody wants to do it. And it's the only way to do it is to moderate diet, moderate exercise, and making sustainable lifestyle changes. If it were easy, everybody would do it. It's not easy. And you just have to reconcile yourself to the fact that, yes, you are going to have to move. You're going to have to sweat.
Yes.
You're going to have to stop, ordering creamy pastas and all those delicious things. No, yes, you can have them. I mean, my goodness, I eat dessert 3 times a week. I love dessert. But you have to make consistent, sustainable changes. And so it ended up being a really big learning experience for me because I think that, learning that lesson of moderation and consistency, it not only affected my fitness and health, but it affected my mentality. It helped me become a better writer instead of, sitting down and thinking, oh, I need to write this chapter all in one day. No, stop. Step by step, little by little, something is better than nothing. Something is always better than nothing. Just keep it consistent. And that was really my main takeaway.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. But that's hard to sell, right? Like people want to buy the easy stuff.
They want the quick fix.
They want the quick fix.
They want a quick fix. And, there were nights where I would literally be watching TV and I'd see some sort of weight loss gimmick. And I remember I would think to myself, my goodness, if I could only go to sleep and wake up thin, like I really have that fantasy.
Yeah.
And that is just a fantasy. That's not real. And it does suck. Nobody wants to change. Who wants to change? Nobody wants to give up things that taste good. But you don't have to. It's just a matter of learning how to incorporate those things into an overall healthier lifestyle.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. That's awesome. I shared a post one day too where, I don't know, I found it on social media and it was like, crappy food isn't a reward. Like, it's actually a punishment because you feel awful.
Well, you do. And it was funny because I used to love going to my hole-in-the-wall Mexican restaurant and ordering like 85 tacos. And I remember about 3 or 4 months into the video, I had avoided it. And then I said, okay, I'm going to go for lunch one day. And I ate, some tacos and chips and salsa. Literally, Stephanie, I was in bed the rest of the day. I felt so sick. I don't know if it was like the sodium or what was it in the food, but it really shows that these are not good things to put in your body, every day. Like I said, if you want to go once every 2 weeks, fine. But, then you're on the right track. So that was sort of an interesting teller.
Oh, no, that's great because you're right. And then you do it once and you realize how awful you feel. If you take inventory of how awful you feel, and then, you don't want to do it again because you want to avoid feeling like awful.
Yeah. So like I would, and that's where journaling really comes in. When you document these things and when you are mindful and when you do take notice, it helps when when you have that urge again. You could say, okay, well, last time I ate 85 tacos, I felt awful. So are you sure you want to do that again? Maybe just have 40, So it's a way of just, being active in your thinking.
Yes. Oh, yes. Active in your thinking. That's a great phrase. So we're going to take just a really quick break. We'll be right back. Have you signed up for the 10-day Jumpstart program yet? It's free. The SKFitLife 10-day Jumpstart program is 10 days of emailed lessons straight in your inbox. All of my best lessons straight to you for free. Go to www.skfitlife.com/free 10-day. That's FREE10DAY. See you there. And welcome back. So let's just keep right on with this fitness journey. You've shared so many great insights that I think the listeners can just take and implement immediately. So what has been the most challenging part of your journey, and how have you gotten past those hurdles?
Oh, gosh. I think it's just, wanting to quit. Those days, I've struggled with anxiety and depression since I was a teenager. And there are those days where you're just not feeling it. And the last thing that you want to do is go and exert yourself at the gym. So it's getting over the mental hurdles, I think, for me is the most challenging. I have the discipline. I struggle with the mental strength aspect of it.
Yeah. And I'm right there with you. Because when you don't feel well, like one, if you have anxiety, a lot of times we can soothe that anxiety with overeating because it's kind of meditative. It fills your belly. It makes you breathe deeper because it's pressing on your diaphragm. And then, for depression, when you don't feel it, like the last thing you want to do is go kill it. But one of the best things you can do is just go for a walk. I mean, just put some headphones on and go for a walk. Walk for an hour out and then walk for an hour back. It's the most relaxing, and you'll feel energized when you get back. You kind of shake it all off. Absolutely. And,
just somebody who has struggled with mental health, exercise for me is such a crucial part of the, maintaining that in addition, to medication. I mean, that's everybody's personal choice. But I'm really open about it, and that's something, that's fine. For me, that's what helps me. And then, but I need the exercise too. I need the endorphins. Yeah,
that's huge.
So,
and I'm just
saying it here on your podcast because I'm a really big believer in those things not being a stigma. So.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And you're right. It works for some people. It doesn't work for other people. it works at some times in your life, and and then maybe you don't. It's huge. And I think so. Since we're talking about this, another thing that I shared yesterday was an actor had the paparazzi had caught him. He was semi-retired. I don't even know who he was, honestly, but he was semi-retired. The paparazzi caught him on camera. He happened to have gained a pretty significant amount of weight since the last time he had been on camera, and there were all these mean memes popping up about him being fat. Well, my whole thing, if somebody is gaining weight, something is not right in their life. If somebody is losing weight, the same thing. So, I think people should always think too about, one, why are you judging them? Actually, that says more about you. But two, like whenever we see people gaining or losing weight, we should pay attention to maybe there's something else going on. That's just kind of a symptom of something else. So I think we could be a little more sensitive to, somebody's like point in their life and realize that this is probably an external manifestation of something else that's going on, right?
Absolutely. I mean, your brain is your most vital organ. And if that vital organ is not intact, then other things probably won't be as well.
Yeah. So, and then one other thing that I was thinking about whenever I was thinking about these questions for you, when I asked about the hurdles, I also thought, getting past them, but it's not like a video game where you go on to the next level and once you resolve something, it never pops back up. I mean, these things will continue to come up. So if we don't learn how to manage them, handle them on an ongoing basis and be consistent, like you said, we'll always be we'll be looking for that next level, but there really isn't one, right?
Right. I mean, it's just maintaining the consistency.
Yeah. So I want to talk just a little bit about, we did some conversation a little bit earlier, but I want to talk a little bit about what the SKFitLife program has kind of been for you, what it's done for you, how you found it, just a brief synopsis of the online program, because I feel like you really explained it well when you were talking about what the online programs look like versus something in person looks like, because I think the online platform is still new for a lot of people.
Yeah, I would agree. Like we were talking about when you and I were having that conversation, I think a lot of people, they do need that physical presence of a coach waiting for them to go into the gym. I personally want to be left alone. The gym is my time. And so for me, an online program gave me the opportunity to have structure and a path to follow without, but kind of doing it on my time, not having to, make an appointment with a trainer, because, having a baby and having a full-time job, you can't always adhere to the exact time that you wanted to get to the gym. So I needed that element of flexibility. Also, I feel like now, we have our traditional public sphere, but then online is also a public sphere. So I think that a lot of the things that you get from working out with somebody in person, you can also get from working out online, especially because SKFit has these Facebook groups and ways to connect with other people on Facebook. So you do get that sense of community. You do get that sense of camaraderie, and a lot of the members are offering support, they're offering tips, they're offering recipes. And so it's sort of like an online fitness family. And there's also really positive aspects to not working out at a in a class or in some sort of setting like that, because, you're really focused on yourself. You're focused on being the best version of yourself. You're not focused on, what's that, what's that girl wearing, or, who has a new Lululemon tank. It doesn't matter. I mean, one day I forgot my sports bra. So what? I'm still going to get my workout in, and guess what? Nobody's going to see me. I just think that there's a lot of benefits. I think that if you have the self-discipline and you have the motivation, I mean, some people might need more coaching from you, Stephanie, than others.
Yeah.
But I think that an online program is really the most flexible way to do it and the most sustainable, because the reality is that our lives change. We move, we switch jobs. We're not always going to be able to work with the same coach. We're not always going to be able to go to the same gym. So you're learning skills through SKFitLife that are kind of going to stay with you forever. I mean, for example, Monday night, I I did a nursery workout. I literally did a full workout in my son's nursery while he was sleeping. Poor child.
That's
but it
awesome.
worked, and for me, that was a huge win. Because I never thought that I could do something like that. I thought, oh no, you have to go to the gym. But I'm really learning that, SK Fit really taught me how you can incorporate fitness into your everyday. And that is really what it's about.
Awesome. Oh, that's music to a lot of people's ears, because I see this all the time where people think they have to go to the gym, then they can't make it to the gym, then they can't make it to the gym for the hour or the class or whatever, and they chalk it up to, I'm not going to get it done today. So that's, yeah.
Yeah.
You got it done.
I mean, but that's like, and if that's SK Fit, I feel like you really drive home, it's not an all or nothing thing. And I always say to myself, and that is something I learned through my fitness journey with the video, and that first time where I lost all the weight, is that something is always better than nothing.
Yeah. Yep.
So I appreciate that about the program.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad. Because that's where people can stumble, as thinking that they have to do it all. And if you have all or nothing mentality, then you're going to usually end up with nothing, is kind of how I see it.
It's a lot more fun, actually, than nothing. So.
That is a lot more fun, like the nap at lunch. But don't get me wrong, I was getting up at 4:23 to do my workout before work. So
I would have been napping all afternoon. In your position.
Oh, man. Well, this has been really great. It's always awesome to hear from a client, because I think a lot of people don't understand, what goes on behind the scenes. They kind of want to know. They're not quite sure if it's right for them. And this has been great. And then, like I said, I love your message that you just have to do the work. And I struggle with that because I have a fitness business. So I do marketing. And so how much do I put out there as far as marketing to actually get people to sign up, and how much, I don't want to be like all the other marketing companies that are playing to your fears and to your fantasies. I want to give you something that's real, that's solid, that's an actual solution. And I will give you the disclaimer that you've got to do work.
Yeah, you've got to do the work. And that's what I tell people when they ask me how I did it. It's just work.
Yeah. Well, this has been so great. Thank you so much for taking time to talk with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Steph.